Hey guys, welcome back. Well, today I'm going to be taking the FS Racing Victory big 110 scale RC truck out for a test drive. Now, the model number on this one is FS 53810. There's also 53633, which has, I think, a little faster motor and a little higher amp ESC. I think a 60 amp. This is a 45 that comes in this one. Now, I received this truck like between a year and a half and 2 years ago. Gear Worst sent it to me, and I was going to review it then, and then they told me, oh, the truck's discontinued. Well, why'd you send it to me, to review? I didn't review it then because I thought, well, what good is it going to do if no one can order this, assuming that the truck is good, which I've driven it since then, and it's actually quite a nice truck. So I was looking around and noticed on Banggood's website that they carried this truck. So I thought, well then, heck, I'll go ahead and review it if you can still buy this vehicle. So assuming Banggood still has it in stock, I will link to the purchase link in the description if you guys are interested in checking out this truck. Now, it is a 110 scale. It's really well built. I'll show you the components here on the inside. I hope this is going to be visible. I'm outside today just trying to do this because it doesn't require much of a table review here. And it has the brushless motor here and a 45 amp ESC on and off switch. This feels like carbon fiber, a lot of metal components here. I'll try to tilt it up. You can actually see into the gears here through this little transparent plastic, so you can check out your status of your gears. I believe those actually look like metal gears in there, which is nice. Now, it comes with a lot of things you can do to it. It comes with a lighting kit, which I installed in here, and you have your front and your rear lights, so that's why I'm kind of holding it. Otherwise, I have to try to unplug it from it goes into the receiver inside of here, and that's what powers the lights. It also comes with a wheelie bar here in the rear, and this is to to keep it from flipping over on wheelies. The funny thing though is on 2S, which this one comes as, it does not even come close to riding a wheelie. So this is essentially dead weight. I attached it and it doesn't need it on 2S. But what I'm going to do today is, I've never tried this on 3S and I'm sure it can handle it. So I'm going to put a 3S lipo, which I got sitting over here, a 3S lipo in this, and I want to see if a 3S lipo, will that be enough to make it need the wheelie bar and wheel. It could also be that the ESC needs to be adjusted for more acceleration. Now, it comes with a 5600 milliamp 2S lipo 30C, so that's what we'll start out with. I don't have it out of the box, but there also is just a standard 2 and 3S charger in here with a wall adapter so you don't have to, it's powered off your wall. So you can use that, but I'd recommend a hobby grade charger. It's going to take forever to charge with that thing, and it probably won't do a very good job of balancing out the cells compared to a good hobby grade charger. Again, as you can see on the bottom here, this is like a carbon fiber. I mean, this is just a really well built truck, and it's quite a bit of fun to drive this thing. The motor, the box said it here. If I can flip it around, I don't know what the KV was. It does say it on the box. I got to see if I can find it, because I know at one spot it had it, because there is a slight difference in the motors, but I'm not seeing where that is. Oh, here it is. The motor on this one is a 3660 kV. Oddly enough, I said a while ago that's the Pro. Take me back. The top one of mine is a 3650, so just very slightly less kV. The Pro is a 3660, so 50 kV difference. This is probably not showing up on my camera, but if in case it isn't, this one is the 45 amp ESC, and the Pro version is a 60 amp, and of course they are both waterproof, which is more splash proof. But overall, seems to be a nice truck, very well built. Of course, oil-filled shocks and four-wheel drive with metal dog bones, all the stuff that you want to see in one of these. So it does also come with some decals that are inside of here, which some of them I've cut out and put on it. It comes with instructions. It comes with extra screws, nuts, a wheel wrench, four-way wheel wrench, metric wrench. Mostly people usually use those to remove like the nuts for the wheels, stuff like that. So it comes with all the goodies you'd want inside this truck. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just take this out. I know this isn't exactly like a really good review for me, and I don't usually skimp, but I've had this so long, I just want to take it out and let you guys see. And there's not that much to cover on this. We can see some spider webs in there. It's just been sitting for a little while, and I wanted to get it out today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here, and I'll just take the truck out now, and after I put the 2-cell battery, and we'll go in there and take it for a 2S and then a 3S drive review run. So I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I have the FS Racing truck connected with my controller. I didn't go over the controller a while ago, I just forgot. It has your, your throttle, steering, trim, and your like your dual rates, all that stuff in here, and your servo reversing. It does take 8 AA batteries, which is quite a bit, quite a few batteries. Kind of old school there, but it seems pretty nice, and overall it's a nice controller to include in a ready run kit. So I got a 2S lipo. We're going to go ahead and take this out, and then we'll come back and we will put the 3S in and see what kind of difference, if any. Well, it'll make some difference. What kind of difference it makes. Pavement's kind of wet, so it may slide around. Some we've been getting some rain here left over from the hurricane that hit Louisiana the other day. You can see the lights here on it. If I go pick it up here, you can see that now we got to power up the tail lights there in red, and hopefully I can. This thing's so big. The white lights there in the front. It works pretty good. There's times where you do have the throttle trim. Like if you don't get it just perfect, it either wants to creep backwards or it wants to creep forward. So now sometimes I've noticed, and it doesn't always. I'm not noticing it now, but I had times where there's a bit of a delay, like it doesn't quite kick into the top speed. I think again that's probably a trim issue. There was a bit of a delay there. I think that's because I put the brakes on, but again, this is a 2S. This seems like a really well-built truck. Again, that wheelie bar on the back, as you can see here, it's just really not necessary on 2S. I'll kind of go in reverse and see if see, look, it just stops and then it wants to go. Again, that could be a setting on the ESC. I don't think that, I think there was a button on it. I'd have to look and see. I don't have a program card, but this one has a button. So there should be a way to adjust the ESC, but I don't even know what ESC this uses. It's using a generic ESC. So the motor, I'm not, that motor might not be. I mean, it doesn't look like those standard blue and orange ones you see that are generic ones from China. But as I said, the wheelie bar is really not needed if you're going to drive on 2S. It's just adding dead weight. So I mean, if I took this off, you might get a couple miles per hour more difference maybe, just because you're eliminating that extra weight. Yeah, it's really peeling out. Even though it's four-wheel drive, it's still spinning out on this wet pavement. So let's just kind of try to do a speed run by here. Now it's peeling out. Let's give it a slow start. It's not too bad. I don't know what that is. I don't have a GPS, speedometer thing to put on there, but I probably should stick an old phone on there. You could use an app on an old phone. Just didn't really think about it, but you can get an idea. I'm guessing that's somewhere in the 20, 25, something like that. It seems really well made. Has a ton of power, and it's it's big. It's 1/10 scale. You can see it going through the grass with no issues at all. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here. We'll throw the 3S in here and see what kind of difference it makes. Because I really wanted to see what kind of speed difference it makes. You can see it's pretty quick. But on 2S, that's about what you expect on 2S. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll throw the 3S in here and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have the FS Racing truck set up on a 3S lipo in here. If I can show you on this side, there's the big soft pack I had. Well, you can really hear the ESC fan kicking in, maybe because of this extra voltage. Let me just go grab the controller. Let's see what kind of difference, if any, we can notice with this now. So, on 3S. I've not given it full throttle yet. That's about 3/4. Make sure I got the, I hope I didn't mess up the steering when I was in there. Yeah, I don't think so. Make sure I didn't hit the steering trim. Let's see what it's like now. Yeah, that's definitely faster. Let's try that again. Yeah, yeah, I gotta give it some taps of the brake so I don't roll it. Yeah, 3S is definitely the way to go. Nice. This is the 5,000 milliamps, so they could get a pretty good run time. This is just a 25C, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. I actually used to use that battery in some drones I had built. You usually see the hard packs used in the cars. That kind of acted a little odd there. I think the ESC kind of like, if you go into reverse on these cars, there's usually a delay before you can go into forward, or I should say forward into reverse. There's a delay, so you don't strip the gears. But there's a lot of stripper clutches and stuff, to help prevent that from happening. But I would say now, I'm guessing, 35 maybe. Again, this is just a guess. Maybe if I get a chance and I got some old phones, get one with a GPS, speed app, and tape it to the back of it and do a comparison. But right now I'm thinking that the 2S is 25-ish and 3 is probably somewhere in that 30 to 35 maybe, but lots of times these vehicles look quicker than they really are, so I could be off. Again, I'm guessing, but there's definitely a speed increase, as you'd expect on 3S. So if you pick this truck up, I say definitely pick yourself up a 3S, but 2S is perfectly fine. It's still plenty quick in my opinion, but 3S is going to be a little more fun, especially if you're going to race people and stuff. Let's see if I can get it. I'm not giving it full throttle here. It's just a bit of a delay. It doesn't need that wheelie bar even on 3S going, just accelerating off the gun. Let's see if I can get it to do anything going reverse forward, and if it would need it. But I don't know if it's going to kick into forward quick enough to even give it a chance. No, there's just too much delay. Yeah, see, it kind of breaks and you can't do it. Kind of like the lunchbox fan, you could vac it up and forward, bam, and it go up. Now, this brushless stuff is still rather new to me, so if I misspeak about something, I'm more familiar with the older technologies. So, there could be a setting on the ESC with this that I'm, that I'm unaware of at the moment to allow it to have less delay, so you can do a wheelie. But for what I'm seeing here, no matter if you're on 2S and especially 3S, I should say, or vice versa. No matter if you're on 3S or 2S, you don't need the wheelie bar. I just can't get it to ride one, so it's just dead weight. I might as well take it off. Because you're not going to get it to go reverse forward quickly enough to ride a wheelie, and it's just. It just doesn't, hey Chris, it just doesn't have the acceleration and the gearing ratio and all that stuff to ride a wheelie. And again, I know on these ESCs you can adjust the acceleration, how quickly and how much it takes off the gun. And that may be enough, but it could also just be gearing. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. And it sounds like we did just throw a gear, maybe the pinion gear. Well, I was just about to say that I think 3S is just fine. Now, as we can see, something happened with the gear. That sounds, I can smell it too. That sounds like something came loose inside there. It could be a strip gear. It could be a, it could be the pinion gear just came loose on the motor. I've had that happen before, and it's just spinning. See that? It's not, nothing's moving. So we got a gear problem. Well, I'm glad I didn't end this review a little sooner than I was going to. I was going to end this review moments before that. And boy, I can really smell that. I'm going to turn it off. I can certainly smell that. So this is useless on this car. I don't know why they threw this on here, because 2R3S, it just doesn't get it done. It really hauls in 3S. But as you can see, I ended up with some sort of gear problem on this. I've driven this truck quite a few times in the past on 2S, and there was never a problem. So, end of the day, I got to say 3S works, but you're running a risk, as you just saw. You could have a gear problem, and it may be minor, it could be major. I don't know until I dig in there. 2S, you're perfectly safe, and I'm sure that's why FS includes a 2S or a comparable lithium nickel metal hydrate, which that's really going to be doggish. I don't know why you'd even include this on nickel metal hydrate, but it doesn't work on the lipos either. So I'd say 2S, 3S, you're running a risk, as we just saw, which is unfortunate, because right before that I thought, hey, this is working great. That is what happens. That's why we test these things. So if you're interested in checking this truck out, I think it's probably worthwhile if you can pick it up cheap. It's starting to rain here, so I'll back up so I don't get spots all over my camera. But if you insist on 3S, you might want to go with something that's certainly rated for 3S out of the box, so that the gears can handle that on this motor. Alright guys, so I wanted to throw this little video clip on the end of my review. I know I said I was finished, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update, because I took off the top, here that has a little, you can see in there that little top, and it wasn't easy to see through that. I took this little thing off. It takes 3 cotter pin clips and then 4 screws to get this off. And you can see in here is I think that's brass probably, it's a pinion gear here, but you've got this sort of nylon slipper clutch type, it goes into the drive shaft here, and this is stripped. The gears are all worn down. You can see, you may see that there's a blob of plastic is melted. It got super hot, so that's what I was smelling when I took the body top off. This is just not going to handle 3S. It seems to be fine. The internal gears and the differentials for the wheels all seem fine. It's just, this is usually what takes a beating. The spur gear here coming off of the pinion gear. This has trouble. That gear had trouble in some of the like the ZD racing truck. I'm sure I can probably find this or one similar to work. It just got to go into this joint, dog bone joint look deal here to the front and back. And excuse me if I don't use the right terminology. Again, I was in RC cars for a long time, but never was like any kind of expert on them, and stuff's changed. I used to build a lot of Tamiya cars, and they didn't have a lot of this fancy stuff back in the day. But anyway, that's the problem. It's certainly going to be fixable if I could find the part. And again, it may be possible an aftermarket, one off a different brand may very well work. You just have to get one with the same gear pitch and similar teeth count, so that you have keep your gearing ratios close to what they need to be. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this review. Now that you can see what was wrong. So again, stick with 2S. Don't go with 3 on this. It's just it's just too much heat. All right, guys. That wraps up this review of the FS racing truck. I hope that you got some good information out of it, and be sure to subscribe, guys, so that you can catch the new updates anytime I upload something, and click the bell so you know when I do upload something. And as always, guys, have a great day.
The power of the dark side.